Sixers fans, how we feeling out there? Hey y'all, my name is Lauren Gordon. Some of you may already know me on social media as Lauren Fan of the Year. Others may have just stumbled upon this podcast, but either way, I want to first thank all of you for tuning in to Season 3, Episode 4 of my very first podcast. I'm just a Sixers fan, the Lauren Fan of the Year story. Now let's continue the story. Y'all, the time is now January 26, 2022. I had just left Honeygrow, where I had the opportunity to meet and shoot hoops with Shake Milton. And because I was one of the first 100 guests, I also got to enjoy a free Honeygrow shrimp stir-fry meal, compliments of Shake. I pulled out the parking lot and headed to pick up my niece Taylor, and then we were on our way to a private Sixers season ticket holder event at Brooklyn Bowl. We arrived right on time as the doors opened at 6 p.m. We ate, drank, danced, and socialized with all the other Sixers season ticket holders. This was a unique season ticket holder event because we also had the opportunity to bowl. I remember dancing on the dance floor with my rep, Alex. I told her all about my day with Shake at Honeygrow. What I love about Alex is she is always genuinely happy for me. She gets excited, which makes me excited. It's always fun catching up with Alex, and I let her know how much I appreciated all the hard work that she and the other reps put into creating such an amazing event for us season ticket holders. They really do a great job. Well, y'all, Taylor and I, we had a blast at the event. And once it was over, I dropped Taylor off home. Then I drove myself home, showered, and then got ready for bed. I was exhausted. It was such a long day, but I slept good that night. The next morning, I woke up to text messages from family and friends telling me that I was on the CBS 3 Philly website. It was a color photo of me taking that selfie with Shake Milton when he approached a crowd and I stepped out of line at Honeygrow. Under the photo was the caption, Philadelphia 76ers Shake Milton greets fans at New Honeygrow in Wynwood. Last night, my interview aired on 6 ABC Action News. And then to wake up this morning with the news that I was the cover photo on the CBS 3 website, y'all, that was pretty spectacular. I always thought of myself as a Sixers superfan, but now I felt like I was really living the dream. Later that evening, I drove right back down to the Wells Fargo Center. It was a huge game against the Los Angeles Lakers. Huge. I believe during this time, LeBron James was out with injury. However, it was our chance to see Joel Embiid, who was playing at an MVP level, go head-to-head against Anthony Davis. That was the matchup that everyone was waiting for. Well, that game, AD had 31 points, 12 rebounds in 34 minutes, followed by Russell Westbrook, who had 20 points. Well, y'all, Joel Embiid had 26 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. Tobias Harris had 23 points, and Tyrese Maxey had a 14-point, 10 assists double-double to help us seal the win 105-87. Y'all, our team was fire. We beat the Los Angeles Lakers by 18 points. What a game. Now, granted, I know they didn't have LeBron James, but it didn't matter. As a fan, I'm feeling really good about our team. The next day, on January 28th, I saw a stat that read Joel Embiid currently holds the record for the most points per minute of all time. Amazing! Unbelievable! That evening, a new Facebook friend named Vince Rizzuto, who had just started up his new sports travel company, Philly Sports Trips, found me on social media and sent me a message about an incredible opportunity. I knew about Philly Sports Trips because I followed the Facebook page. Vince organized group road trips for Philadelphia sports teams, primarily for the Philadelphia Eagles. Intrigued by the opportunity and excited that he reached out to me, we scheduled time to chat by phone. I knew 5 minutes into the call that Vince was a good dude and I wanted to partner with him. He told me that he followed me on social media and loved my passion for our Philadelphia 76ers. He said he was planning a group trip to Los Angeles in March, which was just 2 months away, that included flight, hotel, ground transfers, a ticket to the Clippers game, a ticket to the Lakers game, and a pregame tailgating party. I was like, count me in. As y'all know, my bucket list is to see my Sixers play in every NBA arena. What an opportunity to travel with Vince and Philly Sports Trips to see the Clippers and Lakers just 2 nights apart. That's when Vince told me he wanted me to be a Philly Sports Trips Sixers ambassador. I was honored and thrilled. And to top it off, he even gave me a unique discount code to share. Fan of the Year. This was awesome. Vince even included me in his social media marketing with my photo on his website with the caption, Lauren, Fan of the Year, the proud winner of the 2019 Fan of the Year, will be joining us for our Sixers road trip to Los Angeles in March. Let's give this amazing lady some love. I received lots of love from all of the comments. I shared his post to my social media and added the caption, Sixers fans, I am thrilled to be named Sixers ambassador for Philly Sports Trips. Join me for the LA Ultimate Basketball Trip. We'll catch the Lakers and Clippers games. Click the link below and be sure to use my discount code, Fan of the Year. Thanks to Vince and Philly Sports Trips, I gained more exposure. And it was around this time when I began having a larger social media reach because I began to notice an increase in followers. On January 29th, we narrowly beat the Sacramento Kings 103-101. Y'all, I held my breath during the final possession. Remember, during this time, the Sacramento Kings had Tyrese Halliburton. This was before he landed in Indiana with the Pacers. Well, that night, Halliburton had 38 points. Our Joel Embiid had 36 points and 12 rebounds. The next day, on January 30th, Philadelphia Inquirer Sixers beat writer Keith Pompey posted on social media, #DidYouKnowFlow. With Brooklyn's Kevin Durant and the Lakers' LeBron James out with injury, the Sixers' Joel Embiid needs to score 34 points on Monday versus Memphis to take over as the NBA's top scorer. Embiid would bring his average up to 29.256. KD averages lead best, 29.25. On January 31st, that anticipated game against the Memphis Grizzlies, well, Keith Pompey reported the Sixers center will miss the game because of planned rest. Y'all, I couldn't even be mad. Embiid deserved a night or two off for rest. As fans, we have to remember he is a 7-footer, and the way he had been playing lately throughout the season, I know had to put a lot of wear and tear on his large frame. So I was okay with load management that night. Franchise player and rising star Ja Morant had 37 points. Desmond Bane had 34 points. But y'all, we won that game in overtime, 122-119, led by Tyrese Maxey with 33 points. Tobias Harris had 31 points. Y'all, what I loved was the fact that even without Embiid, Tyrese Maxey was a leader. And let's not forget the fact that Ben Simmons was still on the team but refused to play. Remember, during this time, we were still going through the Ben Simmons drama. But to Maxey's credit, he saw this as an opportunity. He took full advantage of Ben's absence to the point where we weren't even asking about Ben. I loved Maxey's confidence. And remember, around this time, he's like, still 21 years old? But getting back to this game, y'all, I can't forget to mention the fact that Andre Drummond played a huge role in the win. Y'all, he had 16 points and 23 rebounds. Incredible. Everyone did their part to lock in the win. At the end of that game, there was a video of Embiid, who was watching the game in the locker room, running out onto the floor to celebrate with the team. Like I said, it was a great team effort because our guys dug deep and they never stopped fighting. I'm telling you, I love this team. By the end of January 31st to be exact, our Philadelphia 76ers were half a game out of first place in the Eastern Conference. For February, which is around the time when the NBA All-Star voting occurs, it was a no-brainer that Embiid would be an All-Star starter. But it was also announced that Tyrese Maxey was named a 2022 NBA Rising Star. I was so proud of our guys. I was proud of this team. On February 5th, which is my birthday eve, I celebrated my birthday with family because the next morning I had an early flight to Chicago. I was going to the Chicago Bulls game for my birthday. So on February 6th, it was my 52nd birthday. I enthusiastically hopped out of bed. When I left my home to head to the airport that wintry morning, I remember it being cold and dark. And when I got to the airport, I boarded the plane. Y'all, I couldn't believe it. I had the entire row to myself. What a blessing. What a birthday blessing. What I love about Chicago is it's a quick flight. And I think I landed around, 8:30 in the morning. And I made a post on social media once I landed that read, I wanted to spend my birthday doing what I love. It would have been nice if my guys were playing in Miami, but Chicago it is. Hashtag birthday girl, hashtag Chicago, hashtag Sixers. When I left the airport, I Ubered to the hotel. I knew check-in wasn't until 3 p.m., but decided to head there anyway. When I walked through the doors, I was like, ooh, this is very swanky. But I knew that when I made the reservation. I figured, shoot, it's my birthday. I'm going to treat myself good. I walked to the front desk with my Sixers carry-on bag and was pleasantly greeted with a smile. After confirming my ID, the lady saw that it was my birthday. She said that she was happy that I was staying with them and they had my room ready. She also handed me a little gift bag with snacks and a bottled water and told me that I arrived just in time for complimentary breakfast in their restaurant. Y'all, I was excited. I headed to my room to drop off my bags and was pleased with the large open floor plan and modern amenities. And y'all, I love a good spa bathroom. I headed to the restaurant for breakfast, and y'all, no exaggeration. Since my visit to Chicago, I've stayed at many hotels. However, I still remember this breakfast buffet. Oh my God, they had everything. French toast, pancakes, waffles, a whole omelet station, and a section with a variety of eggs, like hard-boiled eggs, poached eggs, scrambled eggs, fried eggs, cheesy eggs, Western eggs, it was crazy. And then they had a section with nothing but meat, where your bacon, sausage links, sausage patties. I don't eat meat, but they had like a whole section of different kinds of breakfast meats. Then there was like the home fries and the hash browns and the cereal station. And there was like hot cereal and there was cold cereal. And that's where you could get like your grits and cream of wheat. And they had fruits and yogurts and bagels and danishes. Like anything you could fathom for breakfast, they had it. So, y'all, I made my 2 plates and I headed to my table, and the attendant pulled out my chair and came back with my coffee and my orange juice. And y'all, the service was top notch. And as I sat there enjoying my delicious and satisfying breakfast, y'all, I was twirling my feet under the table. And I just thought to myself, this is the life. My birthday was off to a great start. I relaxed, took my time, and ate until my heart and my stomach was content. And when I was done, I left a nice tip for the top-tier service. Afterwards, I just walked around the hotel. Normally, I like to sightsee the city, but y'all, the high that day in Chicago was like 30 degrees. It was cold, and I'm talking like a blistery cold with the wind whipping around, and I just decided to keep my butt right at the hotel. I headed back to my room and I laid across the bed. I FaceTimed my kids because they wanted to officially wish me happy birthday. And afterwards, I just ended up falling asleep. My belly was full. I was tired. I had an early morning start. And honestly, I never sleep well before an early morning flight, so it all caught up to me. The long nap did me good. I knew I had to rest up so that I could be ready for the game. I woke up from that nap feeling rejuvenated. I couldn't believe I was still full from the breakfast that I had earlier that morning. I figured I would just grab something to eat once I got to the arena. I looked at the clock and knew it was time to start getting ready for the game. I took a shower and began my pregame routine, which consists of playing music while I get dressed, do my hair, makeup, and take lots of selfies. I thought I looked cute in my navy blue Spectrum Edition Tyrese Maxey jersey with my red tights and my black platform sneakers. I headed down to the lobby to wait for my Uber. The doorman saw me all decked out in Sixers gear and playfully began trash-talking my Sixers. I came right back at him strong because no one talks about my squad. It got to a point where I only needed to say one word: Embiid. He had no response. And y'all, it didn't matter what he said because I always answered with Joel Embiid. Enough said. When my Uber arrived, the doorman told me to have fun, be safe, and he yelled, "Go Bulls," as the Uber drove off. Cracking up, I turned around and looked out the rear window and yelled back, "Go Sixers!" While Ubering to the arena, it allowed me to see a lot of the city. It was a quick ride. And once I arrived, the doors opened. I had my tickets scanned. I went through security. I was in awe. This was the home of NBA All-Star, Hall of Fame sports legend, and icon Michael Jordan. Wow, I thoroughly enjoyed seeing the statues and memorabilia and trophies and banners, everything that honored and highlighted this iconic NBA franchise in the Chicago Bulls, and of course, Michael Jordan. But there were a lot of great players that came through the Chicago Bulls franchise. And it was just incredible being there. And I can honestly say, at this present moment that the United Center Arena is one of my favorite arenas that I've visited so far. It's truly an experience. Like, there was so much to take in that it was like my brain was in overload. And I just remember just walking around and just taking lots of pictures and videos because, like I said, it's quite the experience. And of course, every road trip, there's always Sixers fans, and I always point them out as I pass by. And I remembered I grabbed a pregame margarita, a slice of Chicago pizza, and I headed down to my lower level seats right near the visiting team tunnel. In my section, there were a handful of Sixers fans, and I quickly made friends with the Bulls fans in my row, like I always do. And people are always amazed to hear that I take these quick one-night trips just to see my Philadelphia 76ers play on the road. I also shared that it was my birthday and that I was having an awesome day so far. So being the super fan that I am, I always clap whenever we make a basket. If we make a three, I'll give a, yeah, Maxie, or whoever makes the basket, like one of those things. But I was thoroughly enjoying the game. And it was an exciting first half. And at halftime, we led by only 3 points, 61-58. At the buzzer, I stood up and applauded my guys for their effort. I pulled out my cell phone and began recording the players as they walked off the court into the tunnel. I yelled, "Good job," to each one of them as they walked by. "Good job, Joel. Good job, Seth. Good job, Tobias." And then I saw Tyrese Maxey walking towards me. We locked eyes, and I yelled to him, "Tyrese, it's my birthday." And with the video still recording, he ran up and yelled into my camera, "Happy birthday." Y'all, I got a happy birthday shout out by Tyrese Maxey on video during a road game. My new friends in my section, who were both Sixers fans and Bulls fans, clapped in excitement. They yelled, "Yeah, Lauren, happy birthday." I felt like I was living a dream. This day was incredible. Could it get any better? It sure could. Because y'all, even with DeMar DeRozan's 45 points, we still found a way to win the game 119-108 on the road. And y'all get this, Joel Embiid had 40 points, 10 rebounds. Amazing. And Tobias Harris, who was a solid player for us, he contributed 23 points. Tyrese Maxey and Seth Curry each had 16 points. Y'all, this was an awesome birthday, one that I would never forget. After the game, I returned to the hotel. Y'all know I was hoping to see that doorman, but he wasn't there. It was probably the end of his shift, and I never got a chance to see him. But I know that he knows that I know that he knows that I know that my Philadelphia 76ers was the better team. When I walked into the hotel, I headed to the restaurant bar where I ordered a celebratory birthday Sixers win margarita. I socialized with the other guests who were sitting at the bar. We talked about the game. We talked about the Sixers. We talked about Joel Embiid. We talked about Philly. We talked about Chicago. We got to know each other. And I could honestly say I meet the most incredible people just being a Sixers fan and traveling. It was a great night. And after a couple of drinks, I headed back to my room. I took a quick shower, and then I snuggled into bed. I scrolled through all of the photos and videos on my phone just to relive every moment of the day. I had now visited my 12th NBA arena, and Tyrese Maxey wished me happy birthday on camera. Like, I will keep that forever. And I thought, oh my goodness, life is good. This day is incredible. Thank you, God. Thank you for allowing me to live to see another birthday. I was excited and looking forward to my next chapter in life. Y'all, I was grateful for it all. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And join us next time as we continue the story.